So hello guys, I hope you guys are doing okay. As you can kind of tell with the sound of my voice, I am not too happy with what they've done this season 2. Because, okay, I'm labbing Yoshimitsu, so all of you guys are like, this character is bullshit, right? You can't talk shit about season 2, whatever it is that you guys are gonna be saying, right? Those that tend to dislike Yoshimitsu or dislike me for whatever reason, right? I genuinely do not like the state that the game is in. And mind you, I haven't even touched ranked. I haven't even touched player matches, but I have been labbing. I've been labbing, testing out the things that the community has been basically showcasing, seeing if there is some level of counterplay to what you can do to all of the BS that the game is throwing at you now in Season 2. And one of the things is Jack doing stuff like this, for example. If I go right now and I set him up, does this shit, you can't escape. You can't escape from whatever this BS that he's doing, you can't escape it. If you try stepping it, nothing. You try to interrupt him with a jab, you can't do shit. You can't do nothing besides Power Crush. That's the only thing you can do against Jack right now. You can't do anything significant to getting away from Jack. Now, here's the funny thing though. Even though you can't get away from Jack doing this, there are a few characters that can actually option select the crap that he is doing against you. So what do I mean by this? If Jack decides to, not commit into the attack and he does this to block your Power Crush, right? He can essentially block it. But what I've learned when I was testing and labbing, that a few characters can actually beat this. They can actually option select by simply spamming their Power Crush. See? You can beat this. So even if Jack decides to go into this, you can option select and just go for Power Crush. Why? Because for whatever reason, I guess anything that's around 18 frames and lower, again, if it's a Power Crush that is, can beat this. Now mind you, you can also beat it by simply just doing down for 1. You can beat it by doing that. But you don't know whether or not if he's going to commit into the attack or if he's going to hold back and block to bait you to doing the Power Crush. Or maybe even do, I guess you can kind of beat first. Wait, I haven't even showcased if you can do it from the other thing though. Yeah, you can essentially go for a heat burst. To do that, you can get away from that. So that you can do. But like what I've already showcased, you can option select this, but only a select few characters can do this. Because if you have a Power Crush that's 1 frame slower than the 18 frame Power Crush that Yoshi is doing, it doesn't work. A great example is Victor. Victor's Power Crush is 19 frames to 20, right? This gets blocked. You can't do nothing about it. It's safe on block at least, so that's one thing. But if they see it coming, they can also duck it. So that's the other thing as well. But let's say if you're a Nina main, you can beat it because it's 17 frames on startup. And Reina, that's the wrong one. Reina can also beat it too, because hers is also 18 frames on startup. Now here it's what's funny, and I think this might be a bug, but maybe not, I don't know. Raven's Power Crush is about 18 to 19 frames on startup, right? So that's probably why it doesn't work, but if you do it against Jack, it doesn't work. So in his case, his Power Crush doesn't really work even though the startup frames are 18, but because it also states that it's 18 to 19, then his Power Crush doesn't really work against Jack. I have checked other characters too with their Power Crushes, but I couldn't really figure out which characters have like really fast Power Crushes. So I didn't do everybody, I just did the ones that I kind of think has a fast Power Crush, depending on the animations, right? So yeah, Yoshi, Nina, and Reina can essentially option select this and beat the living shit out of Jack when he decides to go into this. Mind you, this is only on block. If he does this on hit, you can't beat it. He can still basically hold back and then he will be able to block it. Of course, why would he even decide to block it if he hits you? If he hits you with that, he's gonna go into the attack from that stance. See? It won't even work even if you wanted to. Now, again, like I just mentioned, this is the bullshit that Jack is doing, but a couple of characters can actually basically beat this, besides even just using the Power Crush, right? Again, Yoshimitsu, Reina, and Nina can basically beat it with a Power Crush and just simply spam that. against him. If he tries to hold back, he won't be able to basically recover quickly enough to then block. I've also tested out that there are other characters who can still beat this option without having to go for a power crush, right? They can go for a parry instead. So in this case, Yoshimitsu can go for Kensho and actually beat it. And I'm not going to show everybody, but I'm just going to tell you which ones can parry this and beat it. Zafina can actually beat this with her parry. Devil Jin can also use his kind of bursty parry move, can also work. Leroy's back 2 works, but not his down back 1+2. Jin's broken parry works against it. Reina, for some reason, her parry can actually work as well, so that's pretty cool. And Raven's parry as well. And Clive's parry as well, which makes sense because he's the guest character, so we can't have him to have a shitty parry, so there's that as well. I don't know about Anna. I don't have Anna, so I'm not gonna bother to get Anna. I'm not gonna waste my money on Anna, and I don't even know if Eddie even has a parry at all, so I don't know. I would have thought that Asuka would have worked because she has like multiple sabakis and she even has a parry that stays for very long. Same thing with June, but no, it doesn't work with Asuka. It doesn't work with June either. I'm going to assume, because I didn't really test her out, but I'm going to assume that it doesn't work. Then in the case of special parries or armored property attacks, as you already know, you can power crush. King can basically just go into his muscle armor. Jack can do his gamma howl parry and do that as well if he wants to. So those characters are basically off the hook when trying to perform their variations of parries against Jack's, stupid string. But that's not all. Yoshimitsu is most definitely a good counter pick against Jack's bullshit, because not only can you beat it with parry, you can beat it with your flash. You can also beat it if you're in on sword stance as well, if you want to. And if you don't want to commit into that either, you can also do back 4 to just spin away. So with Yoshimitsu, you have proper counterplay against whatever Jack is trying to do against you. This, in a way, is basically very advantageous to Yoshimitsu specifically. So if you're a Yoshi main, like I kind of am at this point, but maybe I might change my mind in the future, yes, Yoshi can basically beat this setup. And I'm not even done. There's other shit too that you can do in this game in terms of other characters and their own bullshit. Finn T, a creator, just like I am, he has already made a ranty video explaining that Leo has a particular problem as well, a bullshit problem that she can do in the game. So the problem is that if Leo does this string, right? In season 1, and I'm pretty sure in past games where she was in Tekken 7, he can basically do this string, and the last hit you can step. You can actually step it. You can step it to both sides, I think, or is it to the right side, to her right. You can actually escape it, so you can just side up to your left. But now you can't do that. You can't escape it. If you are a normal character that's not Yoshi, mind you, you can't escape it. What you can do, in this case with Yoshi, you can just do back 4. Wait, I didn't do it. Wait. I guess you can't go to the left then. It's to the right? Well, I guess it's to the right. You can beat it to the right side. But you get the point. You can actually step this. But that's the case if you're using Yoshi. If you're using back 4, I mean. And that's basically it with Leo. I don't know if there's any other bullshit that she can do. She can do. But K-Wiz demonstrated during his stream and through a video of his own, a ranty video of his own, where he showcased a clip of Leo basically just bombarding him with strings, right? And he couldn't really make the right read as to what he should basically do against Leo. And he couldn't escape. Why he couldn't escape? Because he can't really step the back 1-4 on block. He can't do shit. He just takes the hits on block. And the follow-up, then he has to make a proper guess. He has to make a proper guess as to where he can basically move to. But again, if he makes the wrong read, he's dead. In that video, he's still lost. But if he made a read and he made the incorrect read, he probably would have lost from there as well. And that's basically what's going on in season 2 with a lot of characters in the game. Paul now also has his own bullshit where he can go for an unblockable in the case of a string or a attack that goes into his little forward movement slide thing that he does, right? He does that. And if he goes into his sneak step, he can actually go into an immediate attack that would actually somehow go through your defense. It goes through your block. And then I'm pretty sure that's a bug for pull, but the fact that they didn't even properly tested it makes sense that, you know, the developers don't know shit. They don't know what they really want to do for the game, because they didn't even properly test it whether or not if these things can actually happen. So yeah, that's essentially it when it comes to the bullshit that at least what I have seen online. There's probably a lot of other stuff that people have not figured out yet, but right now, a few characters that are considered to be very weak in Season 2 is Lee. A lot of people say that Lee is very strong. I don't really think so. Lee right now is actually in a much worse state than he was in Season 1. Because they removed a lot of the stuff that he used to be able to do in the game, especially when it comes to tech, traps, and as well as in the case of certain strings have been changed. The properties of these strings or attacks have been changed completely. So he no longer gets the same thing that he used to be able to get in past games, or in this case Season 1. Steve didn't get anything significant either. Like, if you're somebody who likes to counterattack with Steve, he has gotten some new stuff that are pretty cool. But for the more, you know, advanced player, or professional player, these things are nothing burger really. He hasn't really received anything broken either compared to the other characters in the game, right? So this to me seems like they don't really know what they properly want to add into the game. They don't know what they want. So yeah, there's a bunch of shit that the game has in Season 2 now, and we're just touching the surface of all the BS. And this is where I'm gonna say this. I don't think that I am going to continue playing this game. At least not, you know, in terms of making videos or taking the game seriously and trying to reach the highest rank that I want to reach with my favorite characters. Why would I want to do that? Why do I want to stress myself out when this is in the game, right? And mind you, they supposedly spoke and stated that they were going to do a, I guess, kind of like an emergency patch update, like a hotfix at May, right? I don't know what specifically they're going to be encountering, or what they are going to basically try to implicate into the game in May, but it's not gonna be. I have no hope. I have no hope as to what exactly they're going to be doing for May, because if it took them this long, like what, half a year or a full year's time to create Season 2, then I really doubted that they can fix all these problems in just a month. A lot of people are like giving this impression that, oh, it's a month, they'll fix it, and then maybe next month they'll do another patch and all that shit. Why do we have to wait for several months or even several weeks for patches that they should fix the game for what the currently is in on? I can't even speak because that's how upset I am. I get that they want the game to be aggressive. That's their entire motif with this game. But if you want to balance the game, if you want to make this game an esports game, this is not it. This is not it. And mind you, I main Yoshimitsu, that the things that they done to him that they supposedly nerfed, right? Like this is supposedly nerfed. Now you see that they're not flipped, right? But in the video that I made on the update video, right, I didn't properly check. But if you do it in a sword stance, you can still flip them. You can still do this bullshit, right? The gimmick of basically forcing the opponent into a 50-50. You can still do that. And mind you, that if the opponent is blocking completely and you're in no sword stance or in heat, this is safe now. This is not currently safe. If you're in heat, you don't have to be in no sword stance. You can just spam this. Though twice. Only twice though. That's the only thing. So they kind of nerfed it because in terms of the heat consumption, but it's still safe. It's a safe homing mid. And then of course they did actually remove the garbage setup with this shit, so that has been removed, so you don't have to worry about that anymore if you're fighting against Yoshimitsu, unless you're at the wall. You can probably still get hit by this this particular setup, but you won't get back 2-2 anymore, right? You will get 2-2 instead. But in my opinion, the fact that they've done this is not entirely a bad thing, because we can still get, you know, mix-ups into this plus 14, which is the other thing they've done to Yoshimitsu, which I like, but in the same time, why do I gotta be plus 14? Why am I forcing the opponent to guess at each given time? Where is the proper counterplay to this? I mean, I would assume that if I was gonna be doing this and then into this or some shit like that, then maybe they can heat burst, right? Like, let's in fact test this out. I want to see. Actually, wait, I'm doing it wrong here, am I? No, it doesn't even allow them to do anything. No, it doesn't do shit. They have no time. What about this? And I'm even more. I'm plus again because I do that move. So yeah, you can't do shit even with that. So if you take this in, you can't go into a heat burst safely and still hit the Yoshimitsu afterwards. You can't do nothing. So even though I like this, because again, I'm being biased here because I play the character, right? Whatever character that you play that has some sort of bullshit, you're probably happy with what you have gained. But you have to think outside of the fact that, you know, other players are going to be fighting you as well. They're not going to like the bullshit that you're doing against them. Unless you're a sadist and you just like what you're pulling off against the people, then I guess you don't really care. But my point is that the current state of the game is not healthy. The game now is even fatter than it was before, and an unhealthy fat dude than it was before. It used to be a chubby guy in season 1, right? That had asthma. Now in season 2, it's literally a overly obese man that can't even get off of their like a chair. A helicopter has to go fly by and basically carry them to where they need to be, whatever they're gonna send them to. That is basically what the current state of season 2 is now. So what they need to do is trim the fats of season 2, try to give the guy a treadmill and some healthy foods, so that way we can actually, you know, see the game at a better light. But at this point, I have no faith. The guy's gonna continue eating, you know, fast food and all that shit. I hope the analogy is to your liking, guys. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. This game is a mess, and we have to wait for a month until they can do anything to kind of like do a hotfix for season 2. Unless they decide they're going to speed it up and do it a little quicker than that, then I guess. But either way, still. So this is where I'm going to say that, again, I am not going to be playing this game anymore, I don't think. I'll play it casually because, again, I can now do my bullshit against other people too, and they can do the bullshit against me. So I'm no longer the so-called god tier character. Everybody's a god tier character now, besides Lee and Steve. Either by the way, I feel that I'm probably going to be branching out to other games that I want to play. So yeah, that's about everything. That's essentially the things that I'm basically trying to showcase in this video. And like I already said, I am probably not going to be making more videos on Tekken 8 if this is the current state of the game. I'm not going to be waiting a whole month for them to basically do something to fix the game. And I feel like maybe it's just branch out to other games that maybe I'll enjoy, even if it's not gonna be, who knows, I may not even branch out to other fighting games. I might just branch out to something else completely different, but that's not set in stone yet. So I still am thinking as to what I want to do. Like, to be honest, I may just make content on Street Fighter 6, or I may hopefully get into Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I might not do it when it comes out, so I might do it later on when I do get the game. But I'm gonna have to wait and see what I'm gonna do, to be honest. Because this game, I'm not a competitor. I'm not a professional player. I don't play this game professionally. I don't get paid to do this. So at the end of the day, it's my sanity and it's my fun that I'm taking more priority into. And the current state of the game right now is not looking fun. And I don't want to lose my mental state trying to reach the ranks with all the BS is going on in ranked. So that's just my prerogative. So if you guys don't like the fact that is going to start changing in the future, I'm sorry, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. If you guys enjoyed what you watched, or you listened to really, then you don't have to even give it a like. You don't have to give it a like or a dislike. You need to just move on to the next video that you want to watch. So yeah. Thank you guys, I appreciate it, and I guess stay tuned and stay safe.